Here we go. It is quarter-final time in the European Championships of 2024. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to be a predictions video on Euro 2024 quarter-final stage. We are finally down to the final 8 people. This is where the competition really does heat up if it hasn't heated up already. And this competition has been on fire in my opinion. Not necessarily for all the right reasons, but of course I'll get more onto that at a later date when I come to do a review on Euro 2024. But for now, let's focus on the quarterfinal stages. We have got 4 excitingly mouth-watering games for us to sink our teeth into and to feast our eyes upon. And I can't wait for things to get started. And of course, this is the video where I'm going to be talking about the games, analysing them, and of course trying to predict how I think each and every single game will have its outcome. But before we get into all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always very greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, and all of that good stuff down below in the comment section. Use and abuse that comment section, people, but mainly, of course, use it for your predictions because this, after all, is a predictions video. So please do get involved. Your comments, your feedback, and everything else will make for great and interesting reading. I am 100% certain on that. But without further ado, let's go on with the video. Let's go on with the predictions. And first and foremost, we have got what a game to kick things off. It's only Spain against Germany. It's only Spain taking on the host nation of Germany. It's only the most informed team in this tournament, in my personal opinion, of Spain taking on the Germans. And as you can see, I've gone with a 3-2 victory to the Spanish. Now, this is going to be a very difficult game to call. I am not saying this is a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Spanish have been brilliant in this tournament. I think they've been a lot better than what I originally anticipated. And I think that whether it's defensively, whether it's the balance in midfield, whether it is how many chances they've created, how many chances they've taken, they've been brilliant to watch, the Spanish. They have been very, very good to watch. But this is, in my opinion, their toughest test to date. They managed to overcome a bit of a group of death. It wasn't exactly as exciting as many people predicted in the end, but it was still pretty interesting to obviously watch from afar how the Spanish managed to conduct their business in Group B, which also consisted of Italy, who went through with them, and Croatia and Algeria, who both got knocked out. In the round of 16 stage, they found it difficult to get to grips with Georgia, but once they did and once they found their rhythm, they absolutely demolished the underdog nation. In contrast to Germany, Germany have been brilliant as well. So not really a contrast. You know what I mean? They've been very good too. The Germans have been very good too. Obviously got by Group A, topped the group. Went into the round of 16 stage. Got a little bit fortunate against Denmark. The offside goal was extremely, extremely close. And of course the penalty decision, I still don't necessarily think it was a penalty decision, despite the fact I have seen them given in the past. So I'm sort of 50-50 on that one. But I would be leaning more towards not giving a penalty in all honesty. But as I say, the Germans find a way to get through. That's what the great German teams of the past have done. They always find a way to get through. Now in this one, I have gone with a 3-2 win against Spain. So I'm praying and hoping that there were going to be goals galore in this one. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think this one does go into extra time regardless of the scoreline. But I've been impressed with Spain. And the only reason why I give them the slightest of edges over Germany is because I just think the Germans have, or don't have, a bit of a killer instinct up front. I think Spain could struggle in that area as well, but I think out of the two teams, I reckon Spain will create more chances and therefore may end up taking more than what the Germans do. The Germans have been very good attacking-wise in this tournament. Both teams have shown their vulnerabilities at times, and both teams have shown that they can be got at times. but I think the Spanish will have a bit more of a killer instinct up front than what the Germans do have. So that is why I have gone with the result that I've gone for. That is why I think the Spanish will advance to the Final Four, and that is why I think the host nation will be eliminated from their own tournament. But it has been a better showing from the Germans, of course, than in previous tournaments. And of course, under the new management of Julian Nagelsmann, who's only been in charge for not even a year, it is still a work in progress. We obviously know that. But the Germans have shown that they could be a real force again in international football for years to come if they are to be knocked out at this stage. Like I say, not a foregone conclusion. I'm not entirely safe and sound on this. If I was a betting man, I would not be putting money on Spain just to win. But at the same time, if I had to make a prediction, I'd have to stick my neck out on the line. I'm leaning slightly more towards the Spanish, who are the more informed team, in my opinion. Especially with having not lost a single game yet, passed the group with flying colours, and of course have only conceded just the one goal in this competition so far. Those are sort of my arguments as to why I think the Spanish will beat the Germans in this one. Next up, another mouth-watering encounter between two top nations. Portugal in one corner, France in the other corner. A tale of an underwhelming European Championship so far for both of these sides, despite making it into the final 8. Portugal and France have been very underwhelming. They've managed to get through. They've managed by hook or by crook to get there. They've managed to get the job done when it matters most. But it's safe to say that for two squads that are oozing, absolutely oozing with talent and quality and depth, they've been very underwhelming. The French got through their group but didn't even top it. They came second in their group. They met Belgium in the round of 16 stage. They were again very underwhelming. They've been underperforming in this tournament. Kylian Mbappe, for his best efforts, couldn't even ignite France to a more convincing victory. The French have passed that test again, but I think it went down as an own goal in the end. I think it did go down as an own goal. So if it did, the French are still yet to score an open play goal by one of their strikers. Or any of their players, to be fair. As for the Portuguese, they've been very hit and miss. They were pretty miss in their victory against Czech Republic, relying on a very, 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 very late last-minute winner. They were very much a hit against Turkey, beating the Turkish side by 3-0. And then in the final group stage game, they were very much a big miss by losing to Georgia by 2-0. And in their game against Slovenia in the round of 16 stage, very underwhelming. Very poor. A missed penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo, and the Ronaldo circus is back in town. And it took Diogo Costa in the Portuguese goal to be an absolute hero in not only denying Slovenia in the second half, I believe, of extra time, but also in the penalty shootout. Absolutely incredible heroics from the Portuguese goalkeeper. And they'll be needed again here because despite the fact that these two teams have been very underwhelming, they still have the potential to click into gear just like that. And for me, I'm personally going for a France win. I think the French will win 2-1. The French have this knack of winning when it matters most, getting through games by hook or by crook, and I think the French will do that again here. I don't necessarily think, given form-wise, it's going to be the most exciting game of this tournament, even though it should be on paper. I don't necessarily think that this is going to be one to write home for. I hope it turns into that. I hope this is going to be a game that is going to deliver what it promises. But given the form of these two teams so far, I'm not entirely convinced by that. And if like I say, as much as I like both of these sides in terms of what they produce on paper. I think the Portuguese is, again, I think the attention has somewhat shifted onto solely Cristiano Ronaldo. Still yet to score in this competition. Missed a penalty against Slovenia. That could have ultimately cost them had it not been for the heroics of Diego Costa in the Portuguese goal. And for the French, obviously, it's all about Kylian Mbappe for the most part. They have an incredible squad, the French, but it's all about Kylian Mbappe for the most part. So those two clashing is going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. There are battles right the way across the pitch that are going to make for an interesting viewing when these two teams clash. But ultimately, I think the French, given their experience, given their know-how of getting through these kinds of competitions and obviously these kinds of games, I think I think the French will turn up here, and that's why I think the French will go through to the Final Four. Moving on, it's obviously the big one for England. It is England taking on Switzerland. England go in, obviously, as the favourites. They have been the favourites this whole tournament. But unfortunately, I see the Three Lions and Gareth Southgate being on the first plane home the morning after the night before. I think this is going to be the end of England and Gareth Southgate. And the reason is that England just haven't turned up so far. And yes, I have said before that this England side has the capabilities and potential to just turn up just like that. Just like the French, just like the Portuguese. This England side is oozing with talent and quality and can easily turn it on at any given moment. However, you can't turn it on unless you turn the tap, and that tap is blocked because Gareth Southgate is blocking that tap from running. I think it made sense. I think that made sense. It was a weird thing, but just go with me on it. Gareth Southgate absolutely got bailed out by Jude Bellingham. The guy rolled a 7. He landed on chance and he got a get out of jail free card thanks to Jude freaking Bellingham. And then, of course, Harry Kane in the first half of extra time against Slovakia saved Southgate's blushes from what would have been even more of an angry tirade of criticism than what actually was given by most people, myself not included in that. But I see the Swiss being more balanced. I see the Swiss being better suited. And I think if they can look at the way that Slovakia played, the way that Slovenia played, the way that Denmark played, I think that they have the better quality and maybe the strength, the stronger depth than those teams to maybe go that extra mile that those teams weren't able to and actually eliminate England. Now, like I say, the English have a potential to turn up here, and of course they have the individual quality to win the game themselves. I just think that with the way that Switzerland have performed so far in this competition, they've been very balanced, they've been very well-rounded, they are not ones to be taken lightly, and I genuinely do believe that the Swiss will make it into the Final Four. I think that Southgate is going to be stubborn again. I think that he is going to keep the same team that started against Slovakia, and then I think that that's it. I think that change, the same team will happen, even though there does need to be changes. There may even need to be a formation change. Because he's just too stubborn. He's just too stubborn, and he'll do the same things again because he doesn't learn from his past mistakes, and I think Switzerland will take advantage of that, and I think you'll have a midfield masterclass from the likes of Granit Xhaka. They have goals from all other kind of areas. They've got energy in that midfield. They've got a strong defence. Well balanced in those kinds of defensive and midfield areas, and then up front they have the capabilities of scoring plenty of goals. I think the Swiss get by on this game, and I think they knock England out of the competition, in all honesty. Again, England have the potential to turn up. It's not exactly like it's a foregone conclusion, despite the fact England are so much underperforming right now and underwhelming. It's unbelievable. But I just think the Swiss will get the job done here. And finally, Netherlands take on Turkey. Netherlands turned up in their last game in their round of 16 encounter with Romania. A convincing 3-0 victory for them there. Cody Gakpo in particular was incredible that game. And they come up against a Turkish side who, rather surprisingly, knocked out Austria. Austria was seen as one of the form teams and was slowly becoming one of the underdog favourites in a lot of people's eyes, including my own. But Turkey held their ground, and Turkey managed to knock the Austrians out of this competition in incredible style, with the highlight of the game being that phenomenal save from the Turkish goalkeeper. Absolutely outstanding to obviously help the Turkish through into the final 8. Unfortunately for the Turkish, as much as I want them to win, because somebody, this guy, got them in a sweepstake at work, as much as I would love the Turkish to go through, as much as I would love an underdog story, I would unfortunately have to go with Netherlands on this one. I think the Netherlands will get through. I think they may have found that gear finally to turn up in major international tournaments. And I think that maybe with the likes of Cody Gakpo in the form that he's in, he can obviously drive them forward in this and maybe even continue his pursuit of the golden boot in this competition. Don't get me wrong, Netherlands are vulnerable defensively. There are areas where I think Turkey can definitely exploit, but I just think that the Netherlands will have enough about them in the key areas that matters, and especially at the key times that matters, for them to get the job done. And that's why I'm going for a Netherlands 2-1 victory in this one. But again, it should be a very interesting encounter, especially between two nations who I don't think a lot of people would probably have predicted one of these two to make it to the semis, but there we go. One of these two will make it into the final 4. And there you have it. Those are just my thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, for the round of the quarterfinal stage of the Euro 2024 competition. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, but most of all, of course, let me know your predictions down below in the comment section. I'm sure they'll all make for interesting and great reading on the quarterfinal stages. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Don't forget to use and abuse that comment section as well with your predictions. Otherwise, thanks everyone for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. Enjoy the rest of the football, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Speak to you all again very, very soon.